so years, and more aggressively the last.
So a second agent
So two,
okay, my
and,
left.
and in fairness to them,
So here we are again, lovely people. We are at it. We are doing this thing again. I want to reintroduce my podcast. It's called Deconstructing the Matrix. And as you can see, my team behind me has my back. Okay, I've named it after that movie because that movie, in my opinion, is the best movie in the history of the world because it was groundbreaking in its storyline and even more groundbreaking in the special effects. But the most important part is the narrative that it tells about us. Um, and that's what this podcast is about. It's about removing all of the facades. This world we live in is full of curated information and manufactured narratives and illusions, social media, traditional media, society's pressures, those things. I mean, it's just there's versions of reality. There's no reality. And my objective is to try and remove the curtain, right? To look at the man behind the curtain, not some Wizard of Oz stuff, but just to show the truth, to tell where we are, who we are, what we are, and how we came to be that way in an effort to manufacture some semblance of improving our existence and improving how we exist together and bringing us together better because we have some agreed understandings. And there's a lot going on. I mean, a lot going on, and everything is so much more complicated than it used to be that it's hard. I mean, it's really hard. It's harder than ever to attempt to acquire any real information. It's hard. So you have to actually put in effort to get accurate information, information that doesn't have a propagandized intent behind it. So there's reasons why I shut it down the first time I did it, and there are reasons why it's very important for me, both intellectually, both emotionally, and both as an obligation to humankind to reintroduce it. My life has been a little topsy turvy the last 3 years. I've dealt with a bunch of stuff, like a lot of what I would call betrayals, and they kind of came back to back to back, like right after each other, and it kind of threw me for a loop. I've had to withdraw from people that I know and love because of it, because emotionally it was tough for me to manage a lot of it. And it's funny that I was soon, like right before a lot of this stuff started to happen, I was just kind of like, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I was kind of we had there was a funeral that we went to, and a buddy of mine had committed suicide, and I was talking to a buddy of mine that I've never really I had never at that point I had never really had any significant trials or tribulations or uh any real chaos in my life to overcome, and it just started happening back to back to back. So the first was a betrayal by one of the organizations that I worked with for a long time, and they put a lot of effort and energy into, and that put a lot of effort and energy into me. And I will always value that. But I think I felt betrayed because there were some narratives that they they allowed to fester, with regarding my reputation, and that was tough to handle. So, and then there were some personal betrayals that had been going on for a long time that I didn't know about and found out about, and then um, then really kind of like the betrayal of humanity started to happen. And I started to really see that people don't care about each other in the way that I thought they would. And the limits on the things that we would do to each other, they were no longer there. And that kind of worried me. And I sounded a lot of alarms. And here we are, really many years later, and it's even worse than I anticipated it was going to be at that time. So, uh, that big betrayal, and then there were betrayals of people that I love in my life in terms of me believing in their humanity more than they deserved me to believe in it, and still have love for the people, still have respect for the people that some of them are, but I have difficulty dealing with their humanity because they allowed they were justifying things that I felt were unjustifiable, and some of them did it routinely over and over again. And it really, really hurt me because I just felt that our need to care for each other deserved more than that. So I kind of, and then there was another series of setbacks and personal issues. So I kind of reached a point of emotional frustration that I never thought I'd get to, because I'm kind of a square, just go ahead and handle business type of guy. So I had to figure out how I could best help myself and thereby best help the people that I love and thereby best helping the world. And I think that one of the best ways I can do that is by sharing some of the things that I feel like I know and I see that get overlooked, or things that go unsaid, or truths that get misrepresented by people in our media that I am fairly disgusted about because like you've heard me say several times, we are dumber than we've ever been. And I'm not talking about IQ scores or academic achievement. I am talking about our ability to acquire accurate information and deciding to stay in silos where we only get information that we want to hear versus information that actually is true in reality. So I see the world holding on to false information harder than it's ever done. And I see the world believing things that are obviously not true, but because there are motives behind that, they accept it. And it's really, really unsettled me. So my mission is to hopefully give people a different way to see things, hopefully educate people in a way that they haven't thought before, hopefully bring us back together because it's important for us to have a common reality, which we have none of anymore because I mean, people are literally believing things that are absolutely insane, but also of late, we are getting more and more information that things that people thought were conspiracy theories or insane are actually very, very real. And it's crazy. I mean, it is crazy how this world is shaping up. So, um, it's important for us to try and at least pull back the curtain. It's also, fairly dangerous in some instances because you see people who have literally tried to tell the truth, and it's like a lot of them have ended up murdered and legacies tarnished and lied about and thrown in jail, and it's important for me. I'm kind of like a facts guy. I've always been that way. People get annoyed by it. Most of the time I don't spend any
Do not
energy
try and
on
bend the
fiction.
spoon.
Most of the things I
That's
consume is just like
impossible.
understanding this world, facts about the world,
Instead, only
trying to
try
know the
to
world better.
realize the truth.
So
What
it's
truth?
important, to help
There is
people
no
connect some of the
spoon.
dots that were sitting out there. And there are some
There is no spoon?
incidents in this world that bear the most significant world importance that we will discuss. The goal is to empower, not to paralyze with argument. The goal is to help us not bicker about false differences. Things like race and things like right and left wing, things like religious philosophies, right? They are very insignificant things that the people who pull the levers of power want you to bicker about while they rob you blind. So it's important. It's important that we take deep dives into some of these topics. It's important to have discussions. And it's also important to have actionable takeaways. The one thing that I see people missing in their podcasts is nobody has solutions. Everyone is yelling at the other side, when it is an illusion that we even have those sides. And we'll get into that in episodes. My target audience is those people who have curiosities. They're tired of the partisan politics and want to have a deeper, truer, more accurate understanding of the universe that we live in. Those that want to be more informed, those that are discerning citizens, anyone who has felt they have been manipulated by institutions, advertising media, which is all of us, for sure, all of us to a good degree. This podcast is not necessarily for the people who are comfortable with the status quo because the status quo at this point is insane. It's turned on its head. It's upside down. All of the things that we thought we believed in don't exist. Our leaders that we've chosen, our understanding of history, our access to accurate information when it comes to who murdered who. I mean, it's all turned on its head. It's nobody can believe anything anymore. So, I'd like to bring fact back as a virtue. I'd like to bring accurate information back as a virtue. I'd like to explore things. I'd like to learn from people who know better than I. I'm not here to debate people. I'm not here to have arguments. I'm here to have learning opportunities. The objective is for us together to shed light on uncomfortable truths, because that way is the only way we can fix things. So please join me in deconstructing the matrix so that we can actually deconstruct the matrices that we do live in, and which there are several. There's several layers to matrices that we live in that need deconstructing. Some of them more dangerous than others, some of them more trivial than others, but it's important to actually try and acquire some level of accuracy in our information and some level of high quality understanding. And there are many, many powers that be that do not want you to have that. So please like.
Push the goddamn button!
Push the goddamn button!
You heard what she said.
If that interests you, the first episode will revolve around a guy that I had a great deal of respect for. He's a well-known guy. Lots of people talk about him. Lots of people yell about him, but nobody offers solutions to possibilities. So it's about Joe Rogan and kind of like his progression through, before he changed, during his when he changed, and after he changed, and my understanding of the actions that propagated those changes. So that'll be the first episode. The second episode will be a little bit deeper, and every episode after that will be a lot deeper than an episode about Joe Rogan. The second episode will be about race. So hold on to your hats, hit the like, and or subscribe button if this interests you. And hopefully it will. Hopefully it interests most of you. Thank you and have a fantastic rest of your day.